What's going on, Gifted Hands family? It is Elijah here bringing you another lesson, and today we're going to be covering 5 essential chords that every musician needs to know. It doesn't matter whether you want to play gospel, whether you want to play jazz, whether you want to play pop music, soul, blues. If you learn these 5 chords, you will be off to a great start and you will have a solid foundation to really be able to play any song out there, okay? Because most songs, most chord progressions, most things that you hear in music, especially in Western music, are gonna be based off of only these 5 chords, all right? So what are they? Let's get into it. So the 5 chords, there are really 5 types of 7th chords out there, okay? So when it comes to music, there are 5 types of 7th chords. If you can learn these 5 types of 7th chords, then you're good to go. You're straight, all right? So what are these 5 types of 7th chords? All we have is a major 7th chord. We have a minor 7th chord. We have a dominant 7th chord, all right? We have a half diminished, also known as minor 7 flat 5. And then we have finally a fully diminished, AKA a diminished 7th chord. All right, so one more time. Major 7th, minor 7th, dominant 7th, half diminished, AKA minor 7 flat 5, and then fully diminished, also known as diminished 7. All right. So if you learn those 5 types of 7th chords, you're really good to go, and you're gonna be able to play most songs out there. Why? Because every song that you listen to, especially when we're talking about gospel, when we're talking about jazz, most chords and chord progressions are going to be based off of those. So even if you hear something like this, or if you hear this type of chord, right? Really crazy sounding chord, it's still based off of one of those 5 types of 7th chords that I just talked about. What is it based off? It's based off of the dominant chord, all right? So what you'll find is when you start to listen to more complex music, all they're doing is taking these 7th chords, right? And they're extending them. They're extending, just meaning if we have a major 7th, we can add extra notes to this 7th chord to make it sound a little bit more colorful. Right? So we can extend the chord. So that's what you hear in a lot of songs. Or I can alter it, meaning I'm just taking one of the notes of the chord and changing it by raising it a half step or lowering it a half step, okay? Raising or lowering it by a half step. So that can sound like, that's altering the chord. Okay? So the point is, when you learn these 5 types of 7th chords, there will be more possibilities. There's a bunch of different ways that you can use these, by altering them, by extending them, by changing the chord voicings. Right? There's a bunch of different ways to play these chords, but this is the base that you need, all right? So how do we practice these? How do we get comfortable with playing them? Because essentially there's 5 types of 7th chords for each root note, right? There's 12 notes on the piano, so 12 times 5, that gives you like 60 chords. So if you can learn those 60 7th chords, you'll be able to play almost anything, okay? So there's this simple exercise that I'm teaching the folks in my Gifted Hands Academy. If you're not in there, check it out. You can see the full exercise if you join the academy. But all it is we're gonna run through all 5 7th chords with this one exercise, okay? So all you do is play a major 7th chord, then you go from major 7th to dominant 7th, then you go from dominant 7th to minor 7th, minor 7th to half diminished, aka minor 7 flat 5, half diminished to fully diminished, cool? And then you're gonna go the opposite direction. All right, so all you wanna do is do that exercise, practice that exercise on all 12, based off of all 12 notes on the piano. So maybe we'll do it on F. Major, dominant, minor, half diminished, fully diminished. And let's walk it back up. All right, so that's the exercise, really simple. Just hit your major chord, go from major 7th to dominant 7th to minor 7th to half diminished, and half diminished to fully diminished. All right, so that's the exercise, and it gets you comfortable with playing all 5 types of 7th chords. That will really get you comfortable with playing those and help you to be able to play any song out there, okay? And if you want more information just on how each type of 7th chord functions, definitely check out the Academy, all right? Check out the Gifted Hands Academy. The link is below if you want more information. The Academy is just it's a membership site. It's an online community where we have gospel musicians, jazz musicians, neo-soul musicians who all want to improve their playing. They join the Academy because you get weekly lessons, you get weekly theory lessons, song breakdowns, resources like chord charts, lesson notes, guides, step-by-step guides that show you, all right, if I'm in the beginner phase, what do I need to learn? What specifically do I need to learn? And then you have access to all those lessons that you need to learn, right? If you're in the intermediate phase and you're trying to get to an advanced level, we show you, all right, this is exactly what you need to learn as an intermediate player. You need to learn chord voicing. You need to learn modes. You need to learn intermediate rhythmic concepts. You need to learn all these things. All that stuff broken down in the Academy, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But let's talk about real quick just the function for each chord. So major 7ths, we already know. Major 7ths are just, they're consonant. They feel like home, right? If you're in a major key, you're 1 chord and you're 4 chord of major 7ths. All right, minor 7ths can also feel like home. They feel pretty settled where they're at when you play a minor chord. If you're in a major key, your 2, your 3, and your 6 are minor in a major key, right? Then we have dominant chords. Dominant chords are a little bit more tense. They're a little bit more dissonant, right? And so dominant chords need to resolve somewhere. So dominant chords usually are going to pass you or take you to another chord, usually to a major or a minor chord. So in any major key, our 5 chord is dominant. Cool. And then let's keep moving. We got half diminished. So a half diminished chord definitely sounds unresolved as well. So half diminished chords usually are going to want to go to somewhere else. They're going to want to transition you to another chord. So in any major key, our 7 chord is half diminished. Okay. And then fully diminished chords or diminished 7th chords are the most dissonant chord out of all 5 7th chords, right? And diminished chords really are normally used as passing chords in like gospel and jazz. They're gonna take you from one chord to the next. So if I'm going from a major chord to a minor chord, I can pass by using a diminished chord. Right? So we can pass from chord to chord using diminished chords, okay? So those are kind of it's just quick explanation of the functions. Like I said, I go into detail on each specific chord in the Academy and as well, and I will walk you through playing all 5 7 chords based off of each root note, note for note, kind of show you how to play it, how to voice each one in the Academy as well. So check that out, all right? And I will see y'all in the very next lesson. That is it for today. Hope you enjoyed this. If you have any requests, if you want to see a specific theory lesson, if you have anything in the world that you want to see based off of music on piano, on gospel piano, jazz, whatever, you got videos you want to see us break down, please send them to us, drop them in the comment section below. We love to get suggestions and see what y'all are listening to see what y'all are watching, just to make sure that we can help as much as possible. All right, so I'll see you in the next lesson.